Jake,
Yes.
why did the Invisible Man turn down the job offer?
Don't know.
Because he just couldn't see himself doing it.
Oh, right. I could have got that one.
I feel like these jokes, they started off like at the bottom of the barrel, and over time they're slowly getting better.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
It was respectable.
a little bit more smart, you know. Anyway, we're back again with another episode. Last time we watched The Girl in the Fireplace, and that was pretty great, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you didn't tell me the name of this episode.
No, I haven't. And actually, when the episode titles are going to be on, I'm going to ask you politely to not look at the episode title.
Oh.
So
You don't want me to know until the end?
I don't want you to know what the episode's called.
Ever?
No. Until at the end of the episode, I'll tell you what it is. But yes, I would like to ask you politely not to look.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I hope you respect that request.
I will not look at the title. I'll just sing the intro theme to the wall.
Okay. Cool. So
I heard that someone asked about this painting here.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but it's 7 dudes, 7 little caricatures. It's a business dude. I don't know what that one is.
Didn't you say you thought it might have something to do with the YMCA?
Yeah, I thought it maybe, but I don't know. It doesn't really make.
You might want to ask your boss.
Yeah, it's not my painting. Wait,
Yeah.
it has a little inscription. Hold on. It says Dave Gray. At Dave Gray.
Who the fuck's Dave Gray?
Who knows?
Sounds like some generic name.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, there you go.
But yeah, let's get into this next episode in series 2.
Yep.
And yeah, it's gonna be
Alright.
interesting. Cool.
Alright.
What's that, boy?
That would apply only to machines. Sorry.
The Chinese fireball.
Oh, here.
Ooh.
Kill him.
Kill him. So is it nice to have old Bartimus Crouch from the Goblet of Fire in this?
Yeah, it's a familiar face.
Hang on. Okay, yep. It's written by Tom McRae.
Okay.
He's a new writer for you.
Ah, it's Phil Collinson.
Ah.
It's that dude that was worried about that. stuff.
Graham Harper. Graham Harper was a classic Who director.
Jesus.
Doctor! He got distracted by the woman.
He's still alive.
Pete Tyler.
Parallel world.
Pete
Dad's
Tyler.
still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Her dad's still alive in this parallel world.
Shit.
He's real.
Trust me on this.
He's a success. He's always planning.
It's that thing he was cooking up in Father's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone said they were used.
Trust me on this. Trust me on this.
Oh, it's a mansion.
Pete.
He's driving a Lexus. Pete!
I like how the music's swelling like shit.
Have a look.
Parallel world, and she's still angry at him.
Why would you want to pick up signals from Venezuela?
Well, I don't know, but now I can find out. Where is she honking? Rose, come to mummy. Come on. Oh my god.
Jackie was just for the party. We'll be very honoured.
The world below can party. Some of us have work to do. My plans have advanced, Peter. The President has promised a decision.
They like woved in the Father's Day theme there a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like she's thinking about Pete, you know?
Not in the real world. Used to be easy. When the Time Lords kept their eye on everything, you could pop green realities home in time for tea. And they died.
Mickey, we've got power!
Yeah.
Getting up the cocaines now. Mickey, we've got power!
It's them. They're taking you away.
What for?
Experiments.
They're taking you away.
Look at his hair.
Yeah.
I just gave away 10 years of my life. Worth every second.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Where you are, right? Rose, come back here. Mickey, come back here right now.
Oh god. He's like an angry dad.
Ooh, a Range Rover.
Stepping up the budget.
The President of Great Britain
Oh.
instead of the Prime Minister.
The colours are fucking gorgeous
Yeah.
on some of the shots.
I think it's because this is a parallel universe and they've changed the color grading.
Yeah.
It's less comfortable.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, okay, I'll give up. Let's go and see him.
I feel like if it was the Ninth Doctor, he would have said, "No,
Yeah.
we're not doing it." Whereas now he's just like, "Yeah, whatever."
He's
He's whipped.
It's Ricky. Now come in.
So in his universe, his grandmother died.
yeah.
I keep hearing that's a dummy company established by guess who?
Oh, she's Welsh.
Government does not give you permission.
Mm.
I think no government ever. I'm very sorry. Without this project,
He kind of sounds like the Cookie Monster occasionally.
my impression.
If you care to observe.
These the undateables.
Oh god.
It's very unsettling.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the album cover of Animals with the factory.
Oh yeah. What the fuck?
Mickey's like, what the fuck am I doing? I just wanted to see my grandmother.
What am I doing here? What am I doing there?
It's Ricky.
Seems so.
Maybe Lucy's just a bit thick.
Maybe you're just a bit thick. It's so funny though. How Rose is a dog.
Oh shit.
Target number 1 is looming and we are going to bring him down.
Kind of reminds me of Ice Cube for some reason. America's Most Wanted.
I like how they're different ages as well. Kind of shows their unity.
Yeah.
Like it's obviously a very political unity.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, baby.
You can trust me?
You can trust me on this.
That's it, sorry.
Right. Stevie, how's things? How's it going, Torchwood?
Oh, Torchwood. Bit of a reference there, even in the parallel universe.
Shit. Maybe there's a parallel Doctor.
He's listed as one of the
No.
numerous henchmen.
There can't be.
To the state.
No, in this parallel universe, maybe in the time war the Doctor dies.
Maybe. Or maybe there isn't.
Or actually, no. The Doctor would never have met Rose. So he'd still be fucking off somewhere else.
Yeah. But he could be coming to Earth to fix this problem.
Maybe he's dead.
Or maybe there was never a time war.
Ah.
And a long night. She never goes straight to bed. She always stays up just till that last. So,
Oh, I'm safe.
you should have.
Yeah, you are!
Oh.
Wow.
She just wants her parents to be together.
Yeah. Oh. I know now. I know why you wanted me to look away.
What are they?
Cybermen.
I suppose a remark about crashing the party would be appropriate at this point. Children, sir. Would you deny family?
Did she say Dad or Pete?
I think she said Dad.
Was Iron Man a
The side gates!
influence?
No, because
Was this before?
the original Cybermen looked nothing like Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
Bruce! That's not me. That's like...
Exterminate. Ah.
Right. Jake,
Right. Yes.
what did you think of Rise of the Cybermen?
I liked it. So this feels like a different paced first part than what we've had before.
Yeah.
Maybe the Empty Child is similarly paced
I guess
in
so.
a way, you know, and the way it doesn't really give much up until the end of the episode where they're surrounded.
I think the entire episode was set up in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked it. Obviously, it's more now. It's really hinging on that payoff from part 2
Right.
because there's so many questions and so many
Right.
things that need to be wrapped up. You know,
Yeah, because there's been so many things that have been set up.
exactly like a parallel universe.
Yeah. And
Among Cybermen,
Yeah.
introducing them as well.
yeah, and lots of characters
Lots
too.
of different characters as well.
Yeah.
Brilliantly acted,
Yeah.
might I say.
So we'll just get into the characters, should we?
yeah, sure.
Right. Of course, the first one is the Doctor.
Yep.
What do you think of the Doctor?
Doctor was, well, I feel like the three main characters, maybe except for Rose. No, sorry. The main characters in this was Rose and Mickey, I would say. It was a very Mickey-centric episode, and
Yeah.
I quite liked it.
Yeah, it was.
Not really Mickey-centric, but lots of Mickey in it.
Yeah.
We'll
But
go
Doctor first.
Doctor first. Yeah, he was good. I liked the idea of him giving up part of his life to revive the
Yeah, he said
TARDIS.
he said he shaved about 10 years off his life.
Yeah,
too.
which is like nothing
yeah, nothing
to him.
Yeah.
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 I thought that he wasn't as prevalent in this episode.
What does that mean?
Like last episode, how it was a lot of the Doctor.
Yeah, true.
This was more laid back. You know, he's trying to figure things out whilst the other characters are sort of developing the story.
Yeah. I would say he was good, but a little bit generic.
Yeah.
I don't think he showed a lot of his personality in this
No.
episode. He kind of felt more...
Yeah. But I can tell it's because like the situation is just
true.
like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, in the last 2 episodes we got a lot of the Doctor, so
Yeah.
it's kind of, you know, it's fine. It's not
Yeah.
like we're missing out or anything. But I don't really have a lot to say about the Doctor in this episode because
Neither do
he was barely in it really. Right. So the David Tennant cocaine meter.
Yeah.
I think there were some moments where he got a bit sparked up in this one.
There's a couple of peaks
Yeah.
here and there. More, he just got a bit angry, didn't he?
Yeah. I would say he was having a good sniff.
He had a good sniff when he saw the power thingy.
Yeah, and it
Got
was a few
excited.
moments. I think sniffing is the verdict
Yeah.
on this one. He's ramping it up a bit now.
Yep.
The last two, he was on a sober. Tooth and Claw, he was on a full-on Scarface.
Yeah.
But yeah, now he's getting back into that. He's getting back into the cocaine now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, bit of that he's figuring out that there's parallel universe
He's
cocaine.
dibbling. He's dibbling.
He's getting a different batch. So yeah, what did you think of Rose in this episode?
Like, I don't know how many times I can get frustrated with Rose. This season.
You don't know how many times.
I just feel like I've just been so frustrated with her every single episode.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why do you have to be so persistent and dumb? Can't you just listen? But I guess that would mean it would be a bad episode if she just listened to the doctor and sat on a park bench for 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think they were in this, she was sort of it was the gingerbread house thing.
She was like the catalyst to the story.
You know how the doctor was talking about the gingerbread house? That's exactly what was going on. She had all these reasons to go looking for her parents.
Yeah.
And she had all this stuff that she wanted to see because she was just, you know, curious, understandably. But yeah, she was really like trying to googly eyes the doctor to be like, come on, please.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, all right. You know?
Yeah.
Almost makes her feel a bit spoiled, but you know,
Bit of a little brat.
yeah, a little bit of a brat. But I think she gets her comeuppance when she finds out that she's actually a dog in this parallel universe.
And the doctor's like, see?
It's a bit funny. Yeah. Mickey Smith got a lot more screen time, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was great. I really just love his like thug British kid persona.
Oh, you mean Ricky?
No, even Mickey. He's
Oh,
still
Mickey.
like, you know, he's like, when he gave the doctor the ultimatum.
Oh, right, yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
just like, yeah, well, I see what it's like then.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's like, I'm gonna go fucking do what I want to do now.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then you saw the like family side of Mickey, and
Yeah, with the grandmother.
yeah, the scene where Ricky's interrogating Mickey is a bit like whoa, but I feel like him being probably not as experienced as an actor, it was probably like hard to act for that.
It's really hard to do that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
'Cause
To double act.
Yeah, because him sitting on the chair, he's
Yeah.
just like, what?
Although I do think this episode had a lot of campy acting in it, and I think it sort of fit into that theme.
Yeah,
Especially with another character we'll get onto a bit later. But I feel like he was trying to really he's trying to comic book it up a bit.
yeah.
Um,
I still thought he was great.
Yeah.
He was my favorite thing about this episode.
yeah, Mickey's great. Yeah. I like how he has his own little side story where he gets he gets taken by this van of people who think that he's Ricky.
That conversation with his grandma felt like real. You know?
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Well, yeah, it's because obviously his real grandmother tripped on the stairs and died.
yeah. But I mean, it just the way, like the simplicity of the conversation and how it wasn't like in your face, like
Yeah.
rah, 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 you know, like
Yeah.
I'm sad that you're dead in my world and stuff like that. He was just happy to see her.
I think we can agree so far that the Russell T Davies sort of format does families really well.
Yeah.
Even though this wasn't written by him, but it's still like his show.
Yeah.
You know, because I get the same thing with Rose, Jackie, and Pete. Actually feels like a real family. You believe it. You know, it's the same thing with Mickey and his grandmother. So yeah, Mickey was fantastic.
This is sort of similar to Father's Day in a way.
In a way,
Yeah.
it's almost like it's sort of. It's bit different
Yeah.
than that though. Jackie Tyler was the exact same, except she was rich.
Yeah.
It was
I
like
feel like Jackie is a rich person is even worse.
yeah. I feel like what I like about it is it's the exact same character,
Yeah.
just in a different situation. Like she's still complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really found myself not liking her after Rose is trying to just console her and stuff.
Yeah.
But I can understand how it's like, from her point of view, she's just meant to be serving her.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, what I like about it is that she's the same character, but in this universe, she's not likable.
Yeah.
Whereas in the real universe, Jackie has this sort of motherly charm to her, whereas in this, she's not a mother.
Yeah.
So she's literally just a bitch.
Yeah.
You know? A rich bitch.
Yeah. A snob.
Pampered snob, yeah. Pete, though, I think Pete, even though he's rich, I think he's actually...
He was still the same.
He's still the same,
Yeah.
you know? He's more confident, though.
Yeah.
He's way more, like, outgoing.
Yeah.
Whereas the Pete in Father's Day was a bit more reserved.
Yeah.
And a bit more, like, low class, you know? I'm a bloke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix things.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, he was, you know... He was up with the president and...
I liked him.
Yeah. I like his conversation with Rose in the lounge.
And how he's just like,
Why
does it feel so easy to talk to you?
Yeah. Just feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you first saw Pete in the episode, what were you thinking? What was going through your head?
I didn't recognize him.
You didn't recognize him?
Well, yeah, but I've only ever seen him once.
That's
you know?
true.
So,
and his hair is shorter in this one as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So it was a bit like, yeah, at first it's like, who the fuck? And then, but it made sense afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would have figured it out
Oh, yeah.
as well.
Okay. Right, so, what did you think of John Lumick?
Quite a cool villain.
He's very over the top, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he's very cartoonish.
Yeah.
Kill him!
Who does he remind me of? He reminds me of oh, I can't remember the fucking... I'll come back. The name will spring to mind. But yeah, I like him as a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's quite funny in a way.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a quite...
He's just comic.
Yeah, he's got such a dry sense of humor, you know what I mean? Like, he's very evil. Like, so evil that it's entertaining.
Yeah.
You know? And I love his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, part of the appeal for this episode for me is that in Harry Potter, David Tennant and Roger Lloyd Pack played Barty Crouch Sr. and Jr.
Yeah.
Right? And in this, the roles are reversed. David Tennant's the protagonist and he's the antagonist.
Right.
So it's kind of like a Harry Potter sort of nerdgasm when I see those two actors in this episode, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. I'll have more to say on John Lumick when I get into the critical reception.
Oh.
But my opinion on
Is he British?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
He's dead.
Oh, is he dead?
Roger Lloyd Pack is dead.
Oh. How old was he when he died? Because he doesn't seem that old.
I have to look him up. Maybe 70s?
When did he die?
Oh, no, within the last 5 or 10 years?
Shit. Rest in peace.
Yeah. I would say he died around like 2012. That would be my guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the Cybermen.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, you get to meet the Cybermen. You saw the head of a classic Cyberman in the jar.
Yeah, I like the look of that better.
The classic Cybermen? Yeah. Yeah, these parallel universe Cybermen are more
rigid.
Robotic.
They look rigid. Yeah.
Very rigid, very robotic.
Yeah.
The original concept of the Cybermen had their entire body inside the costume.
Right.
As opposed to these ones, which is just the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how also, because it's a parallel universe, they exist in conjunction.
Yeah.
And that's why they could reference it back in Dalek.
Yeah. And yeah, what I have to say is I like this version as parallel universe Cybermen.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I do think they're inferior to the original.
Right.
I think the original version of the Cybermen is far more sinister. You know, this idea that humans are evolved to a point where they use spare parts to keep themselves living, and it's really, I mean, it's still dark here, but it's not as dark as it was back in the 60s, like when it was literally, you know, body horror.
Yeah.
You know. But still, I still like this version of the Cybermen. They're just a little bit too robotic, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the main problem, and they come across more comic book than horror, but I guess maybe that's just because of the target audience is different. But yeah, I guess they didn't really have that much of a presence because they were more in the background of this episode.
Yeah.
And they showed up at the end.
I did like how they did that and kept all the shots out of
good.
focus.
It was good suspense.
Because when the episode started, I was like, all right, Android type of thing, and I was trying to remember the name of Cybermen.
Right.
And I kept thinking Astro Boy for some reason, which is far from the anything. Yeah. And I was gonna ask you throughout the episode, but I was like, I'm just gonna wait to see.
I was worried because they kept on saying Cybers.
Yeah.
Cybers, and I was like, it's gonna click for you at some point.
Yeah.
But luckily, it wasn't until the end when they actually appeared.
Yeah.
That you realized that they were Cybermen.
I think it was when I saw the foot of one of them when they were like walking down the thing. I was like, oh
yeah, it's those things that they
cybotic men.
You at that point you knew it was the thing that was in the jar. Is that what you're saying?
No, I knew pretty early on in the episode that it was that.
Okay.
Well, I had an inkling that it was that, but I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, because I forgot the name of it.
Are you happy that I didn't tell you the title?
Yeah. It would have ruined the episode for me.
I think
not ruined it, but just not.
I think having spoilers in the title is not good. It's only good for it's good to get viewers, but as a whole, I don't.
I think with the way that they shot it and the way that they made the episode, it would have been better if they just call it like Cybers or something.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you know it's the Cybermen, there's no suspense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, oh well. And then there was a few side characters. We had the
president.
The president, yeah, the president of Great Britain.
Yeah, Ricky
but he died.
Yeah, Ricky and the crew.
Yep. We got Ricky. I can't remember their names, but there's the spiky-haired dude and the white-haired woman.
Yeah.
And that's all. They seem pretty, you know.
Do you remember watching that neo-noir film, Children of Men?
Yeah.
It reminded me of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got this sort of like secret gang crew with the van with all the caging on it and stuff.
Yeah. You know what scene I'm thinking of, eh?
Yeah.
Where that chick like pulls him into the van.
Yeah. Children of Men's great.
It was a great movie.
Yeah. It's so dark.
Fucking.
It's
you end the movie and you're just like,
my life. Yeah. Not sure. I mean, the president, he was decent, I guess.
Yeah.
But he died.
Served his purpose.
He died, so.
Who else would be side characters? I guess Ricky would be one of the main ones, and the grandma.
Yeah.
The grandma was cool.
They also served their purpose.
Yeah.
I think the thing is you didn't get to see much of anything because everything was all just introduction to all these different elements.
Oh, Kane?
Oh, yeah.
Crane?
Mr. Crane or something.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. He reminded me of Alfred from Batman.
Yeah. A more sinister Alfred.
Yeah. Like his how he's so like he doesn't give a shit that these people are being.
But it also feels like he has more of the like human temptations than Lumic does.
Yeah.
Because you know how when he's like, oh, it's just very appealing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, don't let it be appealing or whatever he says.
Yeah. Lumic to me feels
He's-
like he is the human form of
Robot.
like a Cyberman.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like he has no heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was. It's difficult to say much about the characters at this point because they were all just introduced in this episode.
Yeah.
So there you go. And what did you think of the plot?
It's pretty straightforward. Well, I mean, the complexities, I guess, of a parallel universe are interesting and stuff, but so far it's been a pretty straightforward, you know,
Yeah,
villain plot.
yeah,
Hero v villain plot.
yeah. Definitely.
It's still got that Doctor Who vibe of like, oh, we're in a different time
Yeah,
time frame, and
yeah,
gotta make sure not to screw up the timey-wimey stuff.
yeah. It's parallel universe is an interesting concept.
Yeah, but I guess because if they meddled with it, it wouldn't really affect their lives, but it would affect the lives of the people in that parallel universe.
Yeah, I guess so, but then again, there's a lot of danger to being in one.
Yeah, true.
Because if you fuck it up, you could rip a hole in the timey-wimey
Right.
galaxy, you know?
Yeah.
It could make things very complicated.
Yeah.
And obviously with Cybermen on the loose.
Well, wouldn't Ricky meeting Mickey be a paradox?
Well, no, it's not.
Technically, I guess.
It's not, because they're different people. But
And they both coexist
But
already.
what I'm trying to say is that being in a parallel universe is dangerous.
Right.
It's not... it's... have I explained this to you, like, well enough? That it's dangerous? Like, do you know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Because it's the same, but it's different. That's the thing. And also, with Cybermen on the loose, you know,
Yeah.
we're all fucked.
Yeah.
And they're all gonna get, you know, turned into Cybermen. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I really like how they don't shy away from showing you how the Cybermen are made.
Yeah.
I think that's part of their menace,
Yeah.
is the fact that you are...
Used to like gruesome.
it's very gruesome. You're taken into a machine where you're cut up into bits and,
Yeah.
you know, stuck together. They rip out your brain, put you in a body.
Yeah.
It's very... ugh,
Yeah.
you know. Anything else you want to say about the plot?
No, not
No?
really.
Okay.
So far, I mean, it's just a foundation
Right.
episode, really.
True.
So
True. Okay.
not much to it.
So, now we're going to be watching a YouTube clip
Oh yeah.
from the classic series.
Oh yeah.
And this is a third Doctor episode called Inferno, where he falls into a parallel universe. Basically, I was telling you before about how at the end of the second Doctor era, his TARDIS gets fucked up by the Time Lords and he can't travel. So, the season after that, obviously, is season 7. And all throughout the season, he's trying to fix his TARDIS.
Right.
And in the finale, he gets to a point where he thinks he's fixed his TARDIS, but then he tries to materialize and he ends up in a parallel universe.
Oh god.
So the clip we're going to be watching is from that story.
Okay.
Liz? Liz, it's me. Don't you recognize me?
Put your hands up.
All right, Liz, a joke's a joke.
Get back.
Brigadier, will you kindly tell me what on...
Is this the man?
What on earth are you doing in that get-up?
Keep quiet!
All right, brigade leader, have it your own way. And you are Elizabeth Shaw.
How did you know my name?
You've been spying on this establishment.
What are you talking about?
Your name?
My name? You asked me my name after all the years that you and I... Might I suggest you just call me Doctor?
Doctor. Doctor what?
Smith. Dr. John Smith. Yes, well, this is where we come to the difficult bit.
Well?
I come from a parallel space-time continuum.
Obviously, he's trying to confuse us.
I've been transported from another world. One that is running almost parallel to this one.
He's unbalanced. Yes.
Not a scientist?
No.
Oh. This is fascinating. So many similarities, yet so many differences.
Enough! Would you indeed?
Indeed, I would. Failing that, Professor Stallman.
Are you taking this man to see the director?
Why not? Whoever he is, he'll never leave here alive.
Right.
What's that fella's name?
So, in the real universe, it's Brigadier Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart, and he's the leader of UNIT.
Oh.
But in this parallel universe, he has no mustache and he has an eye patch.
Right.
And his name's Brigade Leader Lethbridge Stewart.
Right.
So it's like the parallel version of him.
Yeah. What's the name of the actor of the Doctor?
John Pertwee.
Right.
He's the third Doctor.
Yeah. I thought he was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, in that story, both universes are drilling down a mine shaft.
Yeah.
But the parallel one is further ahead because they're more advanced.
Yeah.
And what happens is that parallel world ends up like everything fucking dies because like they drill down and volcanic shit comes up and destroys everything.
Shit.
So then the Doctor has to go back to the real universe to stop it from happening.
Yeah.
And it's like a real like mass plot, you know?
Yeah.
But it's real interesting because he gets chased around. He gets chased around the place, but in the parallel universe, because everyone's like, "Who the fuck's this?" He's snuck into UNIT, which is like a private, it's like a top secret establishment, and he's inside it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like a real interesting idea, but like I think that clip actually shows you the dangers of a parallel universe, you know.
Yeah.
Because he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think? Did you like it?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Right, back to Rise of the Cybermen. So, critically, this episode is well regarded, however, it has a mixed review with fans. A lot of the returning fans don't like how they changed the Cybermen to be more robotic, and there are some that say this story is two-dimensional, particularly regarding Roger Lloyd-Pack's performance as John Lumick. Where this episode is praised is the stunning and eerie atmosphere of the parallel universe, and also the message that everyone wants to upgrade everything. The focus on Mickey and Rose is praised as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can sort of see where they're coming from. It's got a really, like you noted the way it's shot and the way it's color graded. It's got a really eerie sort of feel to it. It feels different.
Yeah.
You know? I guess some people aren't into the whole comic book villain thing.
Yeah.
Because it is very cheesy.
Yeah, it's a bit abrasive.
Yeah. But, you know, taste is taste. This was written by Tom McRae, so you haven't had him yet. He's a BAFTA and Olivia nominated screenwriter, author, and playwright. He is the creator of Comedy Central's Threesome. He has also written for Marple, Lewis, Casualty, and Bone Kickers. Doctor Who magazine number 368 confirmed that this story was inspired by the Big Finish Productions audio play Spare Parts. I have listened to Spare Parts, and basically it's an audio story where you hear people getting converted into Cybermen, and it's very violent.
Oh.
Like you hear like the sound of chopping limbs off and stuff.
Jesus.
It's really, really dark. Russell T Davies had previously described Spare Parts as some of the finest drama ever written for any genre and any medium anywhere. And the author, Mark Platt, received a fee and was credited in the end titles with thanks to Mark Platt, and there's a nice nod in the dialogue with Mickey labelling himself a spare part. However, writer Tom McRae noted that his television story was not a simple rewrite of Spare Parts. He said, "My story isn't the same, it's got a different setting, different themes, and different characters, because once we started talking, the whole thing developed in a very different direction.
Right.
But as Russell says, we wouldn't have started this whole line of thinking if he hadn't heard spare parts in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's almost like an homage,
Yeah.
I guess you could say. Early drafts of this story featured body shops where wealthy people would purchase new cybernetic limbs. Davies vetoed this element because he found it unbelievable. He also instructed Tom McRae to tone down the differences between the parallel universe versions of the characters and their real versions. He says, I think it was one of those great lessons about the freedom of sci-fi, as well as its greatest dangers, because when you're creating a parallel world, you suddenly get excited by saying everyone can wear eye patches. So that's referring to Brigade Leader in Inferno.
Right.
The director was Graham Harper.
Yeah.
He is the longest serving crew member on Doctor Who.
Wow.
Having directed the Fifth Doctor's regeneration story, The Caves of Androzani, which is regarded as one of the all-time classics. And he also did the Sixth Doctor's story, Revelation of the Daleks. So he's been on the team since way back. And he came back for the new series. According to Graham Harper on the episode commentary, the pre-credits sequence was written by Russell T Davies as he was not satisfied with the original opening. In the commentary, it is noted that Jackie's 40th birthday is a reference to the 40th anniversary broadcast of The 10th Planet, which is the first appearance of the Cybermen.
Right.
So
lots of little homages.
Yeah, so because the first Cybermen story was in 1966,
right,
and this is in 2006.
Yeah.
So it's like a 40th anniversary of the Cybermen. The Art Deco look of the 2006 Cybermen design follows that from the webcast real time. According to the episode commentary, director Graham Harper wanted an Art Deco feel to the parallel universe Earth. So that's why the Cybermen look all, that's why they look like that.
Yeah.
And of course, Murray Gold, again, very different from the last one, but it definitely had a more. I noticed that he reused some of the stuff that was used in Bad Wolf. Actually, there was some stuff in there. What did you think of the music overall?
I thought it was good. Nothing stood out really.
Okay. Well, the track we're going to be listening to is called The Cybermen.
Yep.
And it's basically, because you know how the Daleks had their own theme?
Yep.
This is basically their theme.
Yep.
Cool. the Cyberman theme.
What a long theme.
That's
Jesus.
very long, isn't it? Yeah.
How long was that? 5.5 minutes? 6
4.5.
minutes? 4.5 minutes, yeah. It was good. There was just lots of like, whoa.
Yeah. It was very grand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a big one, you know?
Yeah.
Sort of it sort of leans into the whole comic book thing we were talking about before.
It's very animated.
Very animated.
I was thinking before, like, there's so many similarities between Cybermen and Daleks.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, in the new series, definitely.
Yeah.
Originally, no, there isn't. But in this version, they are very similar.
Yeah.
In the sense that they are robotic, they have a catchphrase, and they sort of surround you, you know. But yeah, I see what you mean.
I think I'm more thinking about the new Daleks.
Yeah.
The ones that were created by human cells.
Right.
Stuff like that.
I mean, the Daleks that you've seen are pretty similar. Like, they're not drastically different to the original, but the Cybermen are different. They're quite different to the original.
Yep.
I can sort of see what you mean. Like, the delete catchphrase is a new series thing.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a cheeky nod to exterminate, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which kind of does make them a bit similar.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. I see what you mean. Before we move on, I just wanted to rewind a bit. Do you have anything you want to say about the direction of this episode?
No, I think it was well done.
Graham Harper's got his own style that's quite different to everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sort of people say he's like up there with some of the best Doctor Who directors because he has his own sort of take on it, you know. Did you like the direction? Did you think it was?
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing really wrong with it.
Yeah,
nothing really too drastic about it.
There was a lot of focus blurs, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Like focus.
Yeah, like practical
blurred backgrounds.
Like suspense through visuals and stuff like that was well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll notice that there's a common theme with Graham Harper episodes is I might get onto this in the trivia. There might be something that was actually in this episode, but he likes to do this thing where there's like a character's face inside of a portrait.
Oh yeah.
He does that a lot.
So he directed Dalek as well?
No, this is his first for the new series.
Right.
No, that's a different kind of thing. I'm talking about because that was the Doctor's head inside of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like it's like a character and there's like a portrait drawn around them.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You'll know what I mean when I point it out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now it's time for
trivia.
Yes.
Yes.
You're gonna become more responsive to this someday.
Trivia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Unlike the two-part stories from the first series, this episode featured no next time trailer, only a title card reading "To be continued." This the first time the phrase has ever been used to end an episode in the program's history. The production team had said previously that one episode in this series was so long that there was no time for a preview. Many viewers and writer Stephen Moffat had criticised the use of a preview for World War III at the end of Aliens of London as it spoiled the cliffhanger ending. So obviously you didn't see that because I paused it for you.
Yeah.
But thankfully, when it comes to two-parters now, I don't have to pause it for you.
Right.
So you won't know it's coming until it happens.
Do they start using the to be continued thing?
From here on, yeah. It's to be continued for all the two-parters, so
that's good.
You won't know it's coming because I'll just be sitting here,
yeah,
and then it'll happen,
yeah,
which is good.
Yeah.
Because before I had to run up and pause it so that the surfboard didn't come on, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was a good thing to fix because the World War III preview at the end of Aliens of London was so stupid because they showed them being electrocuted and then it went to the preview and it had the Doctor up and running around.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What's the point, you know? Oh well.
It's probably some network bullshit.
Yeah, probably BBC like, no, we need to advertise our programming. The Doctor explains that the destruction of the Time Lords made it near impossible to cross between universes now. Yeah. And Pete mentions Torchwood.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Very, very slyly.
Yes. So Torchwood exists in the parallel universe as well.
So that means a Doctor must exist? Or it's
no, because the
something else.
Torchwood's not affiliated to the Doctor.
Oh.
Queen Victoria created Torchwood.
Right.
So he must have at some point. He must have bumped
There must have been an event.
Yeah, he must have ended up going there.
Right.
At some point, maybe as a different incarnation or with a different companion or whatever.
Yeah.
But that the Doctor in the parallel universe must have, or alternatively, it wasn't because of the Doctor. They started the organization for another reason.
Yeah.
Like maybe they.
There's so many ors or ifs.
Yeah. Maybe someone else saved her from the wolf.
Or it wasn't a wolf.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was an alien. It was called something, but it was in the picture of a wolf.
Yeah.
But maybe she died, actually. Maybe Queen Victoria died in the parallel universe, and that's why they started Torchwood. It's like, we need to protect our royal citizens from these alien forces.
Or maybe Torchwood is just some random-ass company that dude owns.
That's true. It could be.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because Queen Victoria's, that house that she went to was called the Torchwood Manor.
Yeah.
So, you know, it happened somehow.
Yeah.
Torchwood exists in the parallel universe. This is the first TV story to not feature any extraterrestrial elements other than the Doctor and the TARDIS since Black Orchid in 1982.
Extraterrestrial.
So yeah, this was all
on Earth.
All Earth-based.
But a different Earth.
Yeah. On a somewhat trivial note, the story reintroduces the Cybermen's iconic teardrop motif after a 31-year absence.
Oh, yeah. I noticed that.
Yeah.
They're like little teardrops on
the
side of their eyes.
Yeah. It's like even though you've removed the emotions, there's still sadness there.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. This aspect of their design had last appeared in 1975's Revenge of the Cybermen, having been present on their faces since 1968's The Wheel in Space. All Cybermen appearances in 1982's Earthshock, 1988's Silver Nemesis featured the Cybermen sporting their original circular eye holes. So they brought back the teardrop. The Ninth Doctor called Mickey Ricky in Series 1, which would end up being the name of his parallel universe self.
That is quite funny.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah.
In the Doctor's universe, the Cybermen were not created on Earth, but on Earth's twin planet, Mondas. That's why that episode was called The 10th Planet, because Mondas was the 10th planet.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, there was like a... instead of a parallel universe, it was like a parallel Earth in the solar system or something. Right? It was like a twin Earth that had evolved to create the Cybermen.
Right.
Roger Lloyd Pack and David Tennant previously appeared as Father Barty Crouchen's son, Jr. in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. In that story, Lloyd Pack was on the side of the heroes and Tennant was a villain.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most recognizable trivia from this story.
Yeah.
Roger Lloyd Pack broke his leg just before filming began on the episode, requiring the scripts to be rewritten to place him in a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why he was in a wheelchair.
Poor dude.
Yeah, poor guy. Now he's dead. Sorry. Chinese fireball. Maybe that's how he died. He got dragon threw a Chinese fireball at him.
Hit by a Chinese firework.
Ooh. You're going to die. What's that, boy? Rest in peace. Roger Lloyd Pack based his performance as John Lumick on the United States Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. He said, I thought, who is a power-hungry mad person who believes he is completely right and has a lot of control? Donald Rumsfelder came to mind. He's as bad as a man as I see around now.
Jesus.
Well.
He's got some opinions though. Man.
Yep. The working title for this episode was Parallel World. I mean...
Wouldn't be better than spoiling it.
Yeah, I guess it would have been better than Rise of the Cybermen, wouldn't it? What would you have called this episode?
The Cybers.
Rise of the Cybers? No, that still gives it away.
Just Cybers.
That still gives it away, though.
Cybers?
Yeah.
Why?
It just gives it away, because everyone would know it's the Cybermen.
Rise of the Pete Tyler.
What if it's just... like 40th birthday party or something. I don't know. Parallel World, it's not that great, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's over and done with. Mickey sports a large tattoo on his right biceps. According to actor Noel Clarke's commentary, the tattoo was makeup applied for this episode.
Yeah.
So it's not real. Colin Spall played the role of Lilt in this episode. I would assume he was...
Spiky hair kid?
No, because this is an older character. It must have been the guy, Mr. Crane. Oh, no. Wouldn't have been Mr. Crane. Maybe it was... Can't remember who Lilt was. I'll find it out. He also appeared in Revelation of the Daleks from the Sixth Doctor's era, which Graham Harper also directed. So that's interesting, that same director, same cast member. I was actually looking up some trivia. This is a complete tangent. I was looking up some trivia about Game of Thrones actors in Doctor Who. And in Tooth and Claw, not only was it the guy who plays Pirate Pri as the Kung Fu monk assassin thingy, but it's also Roderick and Jory Cassell are in that as well.
Really?
Yeah. So that's interesting. How father and son in Game of Thrones is also in Tooth and Claw. Yeah. Like the same, completely unrelated actors. Yeah. But they're in the same thing again. So weird, eh? Mickey's line, "Everything is the same but just a bit different," is similar to a line by Daniel Jackson in Stargate SG-1, which I haven't seen.
Well, that's a bit of a...
So in terms of the viewership, so Girl in the Fireplace got us down to 7.9 after a 8 something for School Reunion and a 10 for Tooth and Claw. So what do you think Rise of the Cybermen got?
I reckon 9 million.
9.2.
Wow.
So you got right on it.
Yeah.
It went back up. Obviously a lot of hype for the return of the Cybermen.
The name.
Big villain coming back. Series 2 is doing pretty well so far, I think, for its ratings.
Good increase.
Yeah, it's good marketing. Right, so give your conclusion and a rating out of 10 for Rise of the Cybermen.
My conclusion is that I enjoyed it. It was... Obviously, I am keeping in mind that it is a part 1. If I were to rate this on if I was not allowed to let it crux on part 2, then I would say this episode is pretty weak, because it all hangs on that end,
right?
On that,
because it's all set up, right?
Yeah, it's a whole setup. But in saying that, that's not what I'm doing, and I'm gonna say that for a part 1, I think this was a great setup. It had a lot to do. It had a lot of work to do in the short amount of time it had. Like, set up the parallel universe, set up how the Doctor starts to revive the TARDIS, give that time frame, the 24-hour time frame, which was important for tension and shit like that. Introduce all these new characters and the new villains and stuff like that. And yeah, I thought it was great. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I hope part 2 is good.
Cool. Right, so this episode is an interesting one because I saw part 2 of this story before I saw part 1. In fact, I saw part 2 of the story twice before I saw part 1.
Oh.
So it's a weird one because I've seen part 2 more times than I've seen part 1.
Right.
Like a lot more times for some reason. Just happened to have seen it on TV. So it's strange for me watching this because it's like everything I remember about this story is in part 2.
Right.
In part 1, it fades from my mind.
Yeah.
But I actually think, despite the fact that the Cybermen aren't exactly as awesome as they are in their prime, I still think it's a great setup and a great return. And I don't think people give this episode enough credit. I think it gets way too much criticism. I actually think there's not a lot wrong with this episode, and I think there's actually a lot right about it. You know, it's got a lot to set up, and I think it does a very good job of doing all of that.
Yeah.
So I give Rise of the Cybermen a 9 out of 10.
Sweet.
A very, very solid part 1 to this story. Right. So now we get onto the comments, don't we?
I don't know.
Do we?
You're the director of this show.
I am.
You are the Graham Harper of this review of Graham Harper's direction.
Indeed. Indeed I am. So the first comment is a very long one, but it's from our mate Paul Morris, who gives us a lot of that good, juicy, old school trivia.
Sweet.
So he says, I think that it's worth giving a mention at this point to Billie Piper. She was far from an obvious casting choice to having no real acting experience before Doctor Who, and was known in the UK as a teen pop star. For my money, her performance throughout the series was top-notch, and in this episode, little short of outstanding. She has gone on to have a successful and award-winning career on screen and in theatre. The producers should also be congratulated in seeing her potential when others would have written off Piper simply as a burnt-out pop singer looking to cash in on her waning celebrity. Certainly back in 2005, I was concerned as an old-time Who viewer that this was stunt casting, simply bringing in a pretty face from another field of entertainment in the hope of pulling along some of her existing fan base. I was wrong, as her performance has shown. Rose has been a divisive character, both because of the difficulties some had accepting the change in the Doctor-companion relationship from Classic Who, and because of the character's often selfish or thoughtless actions towards Mickey and indeed her mother. However, she remains near the top of my favourite companions, because of the character's often... She remains near the top of my favourite companions largely because of Piper's performance. Thanks again for the thoughtful and detailed analysis and reviews, and I look forward to following along as you move into Series 2. By the way, if you have access... this was talking about Born Again. So yeah, that's his little comment on Billie Piper.
I completely agree, and that she is really an amazing... She accomplished an amazing feat throughout Series 1, in the way that she took on such a complex, or such a, a heavy role.
Yeah.
It's
like her first big, proper acting role.
It's a big thing, and there's a lot of pressure and whatnot to do it properly.
Yeah. And she was like great. She was like at her age.
She's like our age.
Was our age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're only 20.
Yeah. So yeah, she did fantastically.
Yeah.
I think.
Definitely.
Yes. Do you find that interesting how he says, despite the fact that her relationship with the Doctor is very different to Classic Who, that he can still appreciate her, like as a different type of thing?
But I think it's also... it's like TV and the way that has
evolved.
It's not only got to cater for the older viewers, it's also got to cater for newer viewers to make more money and shit like that.
Yeah, that's why Doctor Who has survived so long, is because it changes with the times.
It evolves to
and
what's
back in
popular.
2005, it was a time of... You saw a lot of romantic storylines in film and television and music.
It was like 2005 was sort of when the whole movement of free speech sort of started.
Yeah.
And that whole idea of being able to say what you want to say and do what you want to do in front of people is, I reckon, what has evolved Doctor Who into what it is now.
It's far less conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with everything he said there.
Yeah. Same.
Like, even when Rose is annoying, like Billie Piper's performance makes it worth it, you know?
Exactly.
She's a very charming actress.
It's not Billie Piper that I find frustrating. It's just the character.
It's just Rose,
It's the character that I find.
Because she's written as like an EastEnders girl, you know?
Yeah.
She's written as like a jealous soap opera teenager, you know?
I appreciate, especially, like, I always appreciate characters that make me mad or make me frustrated because that's good character.
Perfect example is Joffrey.
Exactly, I was going to say that,
Joffrey is awesome because he's so hateable.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. The next comment is from Adam Holt. The Doctor's theme in Series 1 was actually the Bad Wolf theme. It became the Doctor's theme from Series 2 onwards. It's even listed in the soundtrack as Bad Wolf / Doctor's theme. In Series 1 it plays every time Bad Wolf is mentioned and whenever it becomes a plot point, including playing when the Doctor takes Bad Wolf out of Rose and puts her back into the TARDIS. That's my strongest memory of that theme. When Rose wakes up after being Bad Wolf, she even mentions there was this singing, so it's almost like that song was actually part of the story. She even heard that song in her head when she was Bad Wolf. I love that, and that's why it plays every time Bad Wolf is brought up, because the song actually is part of Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
Yes, and I almost picked that as my track of the series for Series 1, but I chose Father's Day instead.
Right.
Because even though the Doctor's theme is like the theme that I associate with that series, I think the Father's Day theme won me over with its storytelling, you know?
Yeah.
And actually, they played it a bit in this episode, which was cool because of the presence of Pete, you know?
Very slightly.
Yeah.
Little flutters.
Yeah, it's good storytelling by Murray Gould. And the last comment is by Lily Ardern. Wonder if she's related to Jacinda Ardern. Do you reckon?
Nah.
Great video, guys. Is there any way you could move the second camera angle closer to you? You seem very far away, which makes it difficult to see reactions.
Goodbye. Hello. I guess we could, but it's just sort of the things we have to work with right now.
Yeah.
Right now it's functional.
Yeah, so just letting you guys know, at some point we're going to be changing locations, and when we get to a different location we may have the opportunity to bring it closer.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Basically we're moving offices, and I honestly don't know what space we're going to have, so
yeah.
We might have to do it at my house a couple of times or something like that.
We'll work it out. We'll work it out. But sadly, this lovely, comfy office is going.
It is.
And that's a shame. So back to the comment. Obviously, I don't know your setup. It might not be possible, but just a suggestion if it is. Yeah. Well, we just explained that. Thanks, Lily, for your comment.
Thank you.
We understand what you're saying, but it's just logistics, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Are Cybermen deserving as the number 2 famous villain in Doctor Who? And if not, then do you think it's maybe because the new series didn't do them justice?
I mean, I reckon they're a cool villain. Are they number 2? I don't know. I feel like there's been some cooler villains. Obviously, this is the only Cybermen I know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think they're good, but they're just not as menacing as like a Dalek. Or I found the Slytherin. Slytherin. It's late. The Slytherin. Better.
Wow, that's very controversial.
Yeah.
Because the Slytherin are very unpopular.
But I mean, I've never I've never really.
Even for the new series Cybermen, that's controversial.
I know. I love making controversial comments.
Aliens of London better than Boomtown better than The Empty Child the Doctor Dances.
The Masked Children.
They're
probably better as well.
I mean, yeah, but that's their only appearance though. Like that, they're a one-off. Whereas the Cybermen are famous. Yeah,
I still reckon they're cool. The design's cool. And
yeah.
so cool.
I have seen a lot of Cybermen episodes, old and new. I do think they are deserving of that upper echelon.
Yep.
But based off this one appearance, maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're not as legendary in this as they are.
Yeah.
They feel more like Monsters of the Week here. Like they're a step up from the usual Monsters of the Week, but they're not as great as they are like in their peak, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah. But, you know, what are you gonna do? They're parallel universe Cybermen, so they're the alternative, I guess you could say. Right, what would you like to see in part 2?
I don't know. The Dr. Weevil his way out of something, I guess.
Based off other part 2s you've seen, we've had World War 3, The Doctor Dances, and The Parting of the Ways. I mean, fucking nothing's going to top The Parting of the Ways, but
no.
Based off the ones you've seen so far, you know, you sort of got a palette for what plots do in their part 2. What would you like to see from this one?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I feel like the idea of him getting back from parallel universe would be cool to explore as well.
Right.
But, yeah.
What do you think is going to happen with the Cybermen though? Because obviously they've got them cornered and they want to take the humans away to convert them, and they want to kill the Doctor because he's not compatible.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
I guess you will.
Yeah.
But you don't have any wishes. You're just anticipating it.
Ready to. I'd rather it just show me what. I'm not going to get my hopes up, you know.
Okay. Cool. Well, we'll see you next time for The Age of Steel.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.